I'm on the crap computer, so I have to keep the video short, but I noticed that the other video didn't break. I'm wondering if it's because the temperature's being cooler and now the computer's not messing up. Or maybe I just haven't used it in a long time that it's started to correct itself. But yeah, anyway, I I wanted to I was trying to say in that last video. Okay, first I was talking about I kept wanting to talk about like what might happen and if I'm exposed as being Christ, it might be an idea. What I wanted to say was it might be an idea if I just have like a fake person first and just for a year um, put out some blonde girl and maybe even give her a different name or something and then just get all the singers and celebrities to say, I mean, I don't know if this is that should happen, but maybe that should happen because I'm really really not well and I'm not okay. I mean, either they don't, maybe they don't put anyone out, but they could put like a false me out, and if all the singers and celebrities say, yeah, that our songs all linked to this girl, and this girl would have to, I don't know. I mean, either say that Islam is a false religion and see who wants to convert out of the religion, or just say that actually it's just it's just the reason why they love death is because that's how you get into paradise through going to death. Like I don't know. I don't know what should be done, but I know that I'm not very well and I need to recover, but I don't know how I'm going to recover because I don't trust or like people for doing this to me and for doing this to me for 14 years and I don't know why they're still ignoring me and I don't know why no one's doing anything to help me. You help me not by doing anything you're doing. Basically you help me by actually coming to talk to me and actually giving me money or giving me promotion and yeah, and then yeah, and no one's doing that. So i I don't know, but there's a possibility that you just expose my face and I just hide and that's it. But if that's how it is, then I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'm not going to be able to go anywhere. um, or there's a possibility that you put fake me out there and just see who is able to believe that all these songs that Christ is a female, um, and yeah. I mean, on one hand, I want to expose myself so that I can ask people, do you think I am Christ? Like just and for that to happen, they kind of need to look at my image, look at my face, look at my expressions, look how I talk, and then judge me by that. I mean, if you have a fake me, then if they say no, then technically they're right. So and but by having a fake me, you plant seeds in people's mind that you plant seeds in people's mind that this is the truth, um, and even if they don't think it's her, if I expose myself a year later, my face, my image a year later, people might believe, and technically I want them to not believe. Why? Because I want them to look back and realize how stupid they were, um, and what I've had to go through, knowing all this information and yet knowing there's nothing I could do to tell anyone because no one cares. No one cares at all. People worship Christ only because they want a savior. Now, if the savior can't save them, then they don't want to worship this. They don't want to see me as a savior if they know that I can't save them. But anyway, I don't know. But I was talking. I kept it just in the last video. I kept being distracted by the white privilege thing, and it makes sense, doesn't it? Make sense if you have 1 billion people in the world and the majority of people in Europe are predominantly white and stuff, but also people who would fight if invaders started coming into their land. And I guess because of the internet, people around the world didn't know about Europe and didn't know about the sort of, I mean, they would have done, there would have been a lot of travelers and stuff, but people like to remain in their own land and stuff. So I don't know, but if you look at the world chart and how many of them are sort of Middle Eastern, Asian, Arab, there's a huge amount more of them, and yet most of European history is all white. If you go into a castle and look at all the paintings, they're predominantly white. And if you think about the Asian people and the Islamic people specifically, they destroy things that are not made by their people. If it doesn't worship their God, they will destroy it. And the idea that these people are now being let into Europe, You know, how do you know that they're not going to start burning down places like Warwick Castle because they could be like, oh, these are all white people and we don't worship white people. And by allowing multiculturalism, you kind of said that everything is equal. And I feel like there are a huge number of people that are actually just incredibly racist, incredibly vile, only care about their own belief, their own religion, their own people. And, you know, these people will cause havoc and problems on anything built by white people, because they would say that, you know, I was walking through the castle and I was thinking how nice it was and all the memories that I used to get. I used to love going through places like this and imagining what it was like, imagining the type of people, and yeah, most of them were all white, and okay, I was white too, so I guess I felt a similarity, but I never really thought about like other countries or that weren't. It was mostly just the white tribes. And I know that there's a lot of white history in China and places, but I don't know much about the Chinese history, and I don't really like their artwork. I don't like the artwork very much. But yeah, and then to see Europe being what it is now, you know, it's awful. It really is awful, and I can understand why all these non-white people would love it, because it's, you know, it's their community, because it's more, it's if you're black, you know, you like being in an area full of black people. And so the idea that Europe is now full of black people, there's nothing wrong with black people, but this is not how Europe used to be. Used to be white, used to be, and I'm thinking about all the memories that I have of like trying to visualize these different communities and stuff, and it's just it's not the same now. It doesn't look the same, and I don't want to be racist, but at the same time, I liked how it was before. I liked how it was, and I feel like by looking now and the amount of trash that people trash everywhere, and I hate the people who trash, and okay, there's probably lots of white people that also just throw their cigarette butts everywhere and stuff, and it's interesting though how I said on a video yesterday that no one says thank you. I've been using the bus for about 3 weeks, and I didn't hear anyone say thank you when getting off the bus. But yesterday, and I said a video that I've not heard it, and yesterday I heard 3 people say thank you when getting off the bus. They were all Asian looking, Arab looking, but yeah, I feel like almost they said it because I complained about it on a video, and they subconsciously heard, hence said thank you and walking off the bus. I didn't though, because I've been doing it for 3 weeks, and I've kind of given up now of the whole saying thank you, because I feel like I'm thinking about how the world was 10 years ago when when was I used to take buses? That was when I was at school. I haven't taken a bus since for a very long time. About 20 years when I was last taking buses. But yeah, I heard 3 people say it yesterday, so it was almost like they were doing it because their soul knew that I liked it or something. It was bizarre. I feel like I'm living in a matrix, and people around are waking up to a spiritual connection or something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like how Europe is becoming. But when I went to Warwick, actually, I noticed that there were some very nice villages around Birmingham, and they were all white. Most of the people there were white, and so I'm wondering if I can get the train to Coventry. It takes 40 minutes to get to Coventry, and from Coventry there's actually like lots and lots of villages around that are all about like a half-hour bus ride from Coventry. So I'm wondering if I should do more day trips to Coventry and then get on a bus to one of these other small villages and just walk around. But I couldn't do it yesterday. One, because it was pouring down with rain, and I knew that I was going to be on a bus during the pouring down of rain, but there was a 5-minute transfer from one bus to the other. My shoes and socks got soaking during that time, and then I spent the whole day trying to dry my feet out, and it didn't work. It's too cold. When your trainers get wet in England and it's like 10 degrees outside, they never dry. They stay wet for the rest of the day. So I didn't even want to walk around. I wasn't really, but I think I need to walk around because I think it's I think I need to build up my health a bit more. And it's weird though, because you know the bus passes are supposed to be for people who can't walk, can't do things, but at the same time I feel like I need to use it so that I can get my health back. It will encourage me to go places and do more walking. so that I can try and get my health back. But yeah, technically, if I'm looking on people on the bus, I actually feel like my health might actually be better than a lot of people around me, because there's a lot of sort of elderly people, and there's a lot of people that whose health looks worse than mine. There's a lot of overweight people who literally can't walk because of. And so, is my health actually worse than most people? Probably not. It's just because I knew that I could walk, I could cycle for 7 hours last year, and maybe even in March. I'm sure I could have done a 7 hour cycle, and I can't do that any longer. So it's not like my health is incredibly bad. It's just so much worse than it used to be. But I feel like a lot of people have really bad health, but yeah, I feel like a lot of their health is just lack of trying, and a lack. A lot of people think that it's fine to take a bus for 1 or 2 stops. I would never take a bus if it was less than 3 stops, unless it was free. If it was free, I'd do that. But the number of people to get on a bus and pay £1.50 just to go 3 stops is incredibly high. I can't understand that. I really can't understand that. But the fact that it's happening kind of shows that actually there's a lot of people who have very bad health. The health in England is very bad.